and I hope you're doing well. I feel like shit. It's going to be a battle tonight, but I need you to help me. I've got like tonsillitis coming. I probably shouldn't be doing the show, but this is what we endure. If I was a footballer, then I'd probably be on the injury list. But as a vlogger, I'm pushing through, and hopefully the voice is going to survive. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will he survive Manchester United 3 years? Some people are starting to turn on him a little bit too soon, of course, but big news around Manchester United over the last 24 hours around an exodus, a Manchester United summer exodus. Ole's summer slam, is spoken about as if it's willing from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look, let's talk about where it's come from. It's come from the BBC, actually. Simon Stone wrote the article. He's very, very reliable. Very, very reliable. And other people as well. So the players that we're looking to get rid of, just to start off with. Let me just say this as well. In the Simon Stone article, I want to talk about the players that we're going to move on. But the thing that really, really depressed me, and I don't know whether you lot read it because I tweeted it out and I cut that specific bit from the BBC article, was that Alexis Sanchez's wages are apparently £391,000 a week. £391,000 a week, it said from a source in that BBC article from Simon Stone. Not only that, though, it gets better. When he starts games, he gets another £72,000. So that's north of £450,000 a week. I mean, who? When? Why? How? How does that happen? Welcome Sergio Hernandez and welcome to Odran O'Sullivan, our latest members. Remember, you can join through the join button below. But that is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, 380, 370, whatever. That's ridiculous. But he's on north of £450,000. And we're a club that's tight with money. We've got Glazers who want to cream money out the club. Who signs this deal off? I mean, it's almost sackable. This guy is going to flop. Alexis Sanchez is already a flop. Is he 31 this year? He's not going to get any quicker. He's not going to get his yard of pace back. And we're paying him £380,000, £390,000 a week to be injured. And then if he starts a game, we're paying him £450. Absolutely crazy. Thanks for the contribution, Krista Rivas. But I take credibility from what's been reported because where it's come from. The players that we're looking to move on then, Darmian, Valencia and Rojo, jog on, not interested, good. Darmian can go, he's crap. Valencia can go, he's crap. And Rojo can go, he's crap, he's always injured. We will be talking about David De Gea, Sam Ainsworth, thanks for the contribution. But then the next 3 players, or 4 players, up in the air really. Juan Mata, who's obviously another player that we've let the contract run down then. I know he divides opinion. Personally, I think Juan Mata should be moved on. So if he goes, I don't have a problem with that. I think Mata, like Sanchez, has lost a yard of pace and doesn't really offer us what we need. And Herrera, who I don't want to go. The scary thing is that with Ashley Young, Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, their combined wage is about £270,000 a week, what we're paying them. There was no snoozing on getting them on long-term contracts, was there? £270,000 a week we played combined for Jones, Young and Smalling, roughly. Welcome to Callum Ward, the latest new member. You're telling, all these people who say, Herrera's not worth £200,000 a week, he's not worth £170,000 a week. You're telling me that you would rather see Phil Jones, Chris Smalling and Ashley Young at the club earning £270,000 a week. I'd rather get rid of all 3 of those, give Ander Herrera the £200,000 and pocket 70 grand. I don't think you lose anything if Young, Smalling and Jones are not at this club anymore. And I think some of what's going on is quite frankly ridiculous. It really is. And I worry about this summer exodus, and I worry about where we're going to go this summer because there is no. Somebody called me a flip-flop today, and I was like, you clearly don't watch the United stand because as a fan base, we're very happy that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our manager. Thanks for the contribution, Sergio Hernandez. But we're very happy about the manager. But this goes back a long, long time. Most Manchester United fans are very, very angry and pissed off with the board. And that's not being a flip-flop. This is not about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is above Solskjaer. Solskjaer should be the manager. I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's got my full backing for, hopefully for a very long time. This is not about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is about the board, the running down of contracts, the lack of spending, the lack of confidence. I see things today, and I think that what I would say to people, because I just want to try and calm the nerves a little bit. You see so much stuff today, because United sell. United... If the Sun or the Mirror says United are going to have their biggest summer since Van Gaal's first year, they're going to spend loads and loads of money. Welcome, Ahadu212, our latest United Stand member. Get in the emojis. But the thing is that people read this stuff, this bullshit, and they agree with it. Welcome, Sparsh Tanija. And I read things because I do it, obviously, because I see if there's things that are worth discussing. And I see, like, the Sun putting out United's team next season, and it's got Fernandes in it, Rice in it, Sancho in it, Koulibaly in it, Wan-Bissaka in it, and another player in it. And I'm like, even if we get them on the cheap, that's 400 million quid. We're not spending 400 million pounds. And you've got other outlets doing it. Oh, this is our ideal summer. It's going to be a big summer. Jog on. Like, seriously, jog on. We're this is real people and real people's feelings. And I you know what? I've come to expect this with Manchester United. We have a bad result, and then the next day we're linked to Bale or we're linked to Ronaldo. And I've got no proof, I've said this before, but the cynic in me thinks that this stuff gets fed out on purpose to get fans buying season tickets, to get fans excited, when the reality is the summer's going to be very, very different. We're not going to spend £400 million this summer. No way. I don't think we'll spend £300 million. And we're going to have to box a lot cleverer than that. On top of that, I don't think we're going to move 6 players out of the club, because you don't just say, there's the exit door, off you go. You've got to negotiate with the club they're going to. You've got to negotiate with the player, severance package, the lot. 6 times that is going to take up Ed Woodward's whole summer. So we're going to let 6 players go, and we're going to bring 6 players in. And we've got no director of football, and Ed Woodward's going to do it all on his own and have his annual holiday. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I'm not convinced by any of this bullshit that's floating around. I'm happy to be proved wrong, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, Eric Bailly is another name I must mention that is apparently going to go. I've been saying Eric Bailly is going to go for a long time. I think Eric Bailly will leave Manchester United. He doesn't get picked over Smalling. He doesn't get picked over Phil Jones now. And this has been going on with Mourinho. It's happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's clearly a problem with Eric Bailly. And I don't want to go in on Solskjaer on this, and I suppose it was unfair to go in on Mourinho, because we don't know what goes on at the training ground. What I do know is that a lot of United fans have always said that Eric Bailly is our best centre-back. And over time, I think we've come to expect that he's not going to play and he's going to go. I think I said in January, I think he's going to go. There's too many stories about him going, and he doesn't get picked enough when he's fit. So they obviously don't fancy him. But it's interesting today, because Real Madrid are linked to Eric Bailly, and Spurs are linked to Eric Bailly, and Arsenal are linked to Eric Bailly. It's not like he's being linked to bloody Nice or Stoke. He's being linked to big, big clubs. And I just wonder, welcome Fernando Abundis, our newest member. I just wonder, well, I don't wonder, I just know Eric Bailly is better than Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, and we're going to sell Eric Bailly and we're going to keep Phil Jones and Chris Smalling because we've given them big new contracts. And I just think, what is going on at Manchester United? Is it simply that there is problems with the players' attitudes, and that's why Eric Bailly is going to be shipped out because he's got a bad attitude? Whereas Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, to be fair, I'm sure they're model professionals. They know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They know Michael Carrick. They're well established at the club. They're very experienced players. Doesn't matter if they're limited players, but they are, they give everything. They're very professional. And that, look, doesn't matter what job you've got. Doesn't matter if you're a manager at McDonald's. If you've got someone who can flip a burger really well, 100 times an hour, you're going to keep them over somebody who can flip a burger 100 times in the air and is very talented but can't be asked for half of the time. You're going to go with productivity, so I haven't got a problem with that. But it's a sad state of affairs that Eric Bailly is leaving United, I think, and he's going to go to a decent club. And again, we failed with another signing. So Eric Bailly looks like he's going to go. So the list is Darmian, Valencia, Rojo. Like I say, jog on. You're all shit. Eric Bailly, I think, is a big shame. Mata, I actually agree with, although I don't think we should have let his contract run down. I think that was a bit stupid. But then again, I suppose that's a way of moving him out the club. And Ander Herrera, obviously, I'm disappointed about that. And then Alexis Sanchez is sort of like, the club want to keep Alexis Sanchez. They think he can still be a good player for United, but they're going to leave it up to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And what I would say about Alexis Sanchez, and I want to talk about the youth and bring the youth into this as well, and De Gea. Alexis Sanchez, right? I think if I ask the live comments, sorry, Mr. Drunk Film says, Mark, it's pronounced Hudson Odie, not Odie. Odie. Plus, why are we forgetting about 2? I'd rather him leave than Smalling. Who's 2? Anyway, thanks for the Hudson Odie thing. We'll come back to that. Hudson Odie's a player I want to talk about, but you've made me lose. Yeah, Alexis Sanchez, right? If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got a brain, and he has, he'll be sat there, like we are, knowing Alexis Sanchez is finished, inheriting a problem that no manager should have to inherit. a bad signing on the best paid player in the Premier League. I've not said that for a few weeks. He's the best paid player in the Premier League. He gets more than Hazard, Mo Salah, De Bruyne, Aguero. He gets a lot more than anybody in the league, and he's an absolute flop. And he's 31 this year, and he's going to get worse. And he's selfish, and he doesn't integrate with the squad, and he doesn't bring anything to the team other than running around. But McTominay can do that, and he's from the youth, and he was free. So Alexis Sanchez offers absolutely nothing to Manchester United. But he's on, let's say, £380,000 a week. You can stop paying him. I mean, you can stop his wage going up to 450 because that's apparently what he gets when he starts games. So you don't play him. You save yourself 70 grand a week, but you're still paying him 380 grand a week. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goes into Ed Woodward's office and says, I want to get rid of Alexis Sanchez. Okay. I'm a bit busy now, Ollie. I'm on the phone to the Glazers, but it's not even plugged in. I am. It's wireless. And Ollie walks out dejected because he knows he's getting bullshitted. We're not going to sell Alexis Sanchez. I don't see how we sell Alexis Sanchez. I think there are clubs in world football that would like Alexis Sanchez, but who's going to pay him £370,000 a week or 380 or whatever he's on? Who's going to pay that? And not only that, he's got 3 years left on his contract, so he's not out of contract. Somebody would have to give us a transfer fee and pay his wages. And there's just nobody. There's nobody going to do that. China maybe, but I don't think the Chinese transfer window is open when our summer transfer window is open. So apart from China, who's going to pay crap Alexis Sanchez £370,000 a week? The problem is we're stuck with him. We are stuck with this problem. And I would love to know who was responsible for it. I think Mourinho was responsible for it in a big way. But someone's got to sign that cheque off. Somebody at Manchester United who's still there now had to say this is a good idea to pay somebody 450 grand a week when he starts games and 370 grand a week when he's not. To absolutely blow our wage budget out the window. To have him on nearly double what De Gea and Pogba are on. I mean, it's just a sackable offence. And I just don't see how we're going to move Alexis Sanchez out of the club. And as I said this afternoon, if Ashley Young's still our captain next year playing at right back, and Alexis Sanchez is still part of our squad next year, and Fred and McTominay are still playing in the midfield, I'm sorry, we're not winning the league. That's 4 players that you can't carry 4 players. You could replace Sanchez with Hervé Lozano or Jadon Sancho. You can replace Ashley Young with Wan-Bissaka or Cancelo, and you can replace Fred with Ndembele, and Scott McTominay can play 30 games a season, and you'll be fine. You can challenge for the title because you can carry 1 player, but you can't carry that many players. And if we've got Sanchez, Young, and Smalling and Jones, and everybody else next season, we're not going anywhere near the title. We'll be fighting for 4th again. Vicky189, and that's not Ollie's fault, by the way. That's not Ollie's fault. This is what is happening above him. Vicky118 says, seeing how Ed has turned us into a commercial club, I doubt we will spend 200 million. Even so, due to financial fair play, we need to be in the top 4 to be able to spend 100 million plus. I didn't know that. And Josh Wearing says, I have never understood why a brilliant businessman like Woodward doesn't correlate winning trophies at United with more sponsorship capital. Well, you know what? Maybe there's a bit of a myth floating around Ed Woodward these days because, one thing I've always said is he's a brilliant football man. He's a brilliant businessman, but I don't trust his football ability, his football brain. But there's nothing brilliant business side about giving that wage to Alexis Sanchez. It was ridiculous. And look, whether you think Alexis Sanchez is should be the best paid player in the Premier League or probably one of the best players in the world is by the by. It's whether he should have been brought in to absolutely destroy our wage structure, which is the next thing I want to talk about. Chloe Jenkins says, obviously Woodward shirt sales in South America. Yeah, but there's a better South American we could go and get. And Craig Warburton, I bet he only plays Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on the piano. I doubt he can even play that. But the interesting thing from all these players that are going to leave, and I don't know whether this was in the Telegraph or the Independent or the BBC, but they're all pretty good, close to United journalists. They mentioned all these players that are going to go, and then they mentioned David De Gea, and they said that with David De Gea, he is absolutely nowhere near signing a new contract. Manchester United are confident he will sign one, but they're going to gamble and take it into next season. That means that the situation with David De Gea, if people don't know it, is that he's out of contract next summer. So if David De Gea was sat here now and he said, "Hello, I'm David De Gea. I'm not going to sign a new contract at Manchester United because I want to leave," then we should sell him in the summer because that's the last chance we've got to get any money for him. And with 1 year left on his contract, he might only go for 50 million. But United are not going to do that. They're not selling him in this summer. So they're going to take it into the next season. And we could be in a situation where David De Gea is out of contract in January and free to go to somebody else. The best goalkeeper in the world, in his prime, free to go to somebody else. And that's apparently what Manchester United are going to do. And again, look, I'm tired of the Herrera conversation. I'm tired of the Martial conversation, the Pereira, everybody else. But why the hell are we letting contracts run down like this? At best, it demoralises the player because there's no uncertainty there. There is uncertainty there. But this comes down to Alexis Sanchez as well. Manchester United, if you read between the lines, don't want to pay David De Gea £400,000 a week. David De Gea's got every right to ask for £400,000 a week because he knows Alexis Sanchez is on that. But Manchester United are like, no, we don't want to spend that much money. Well, I'm sorry. I've got no sympathy for Manchester United on that one. You screwed up. You screwed up giving Sanchez such a big wage. And the minute you do that, when your best players want a new contract, they've got every right to say, he's the biggest earner in the club. He's shit. I want more than him. And, you know, we can all sit there going, oh, he should love the club and play for free. You know, what a load of nonsense. What a load of nonsense. David De Gea, I'm sure, is very happy at Manchester United, but he's got every right to ask for £400,000. But you see people on social media sympathising with the club. Good old Ed, don't be held to ransom. But he's created that situation himself with Sanchez. So the De Gea thing is very worrying. Joe Wan says, how many different players will we have in our starting 11 next year, Mark? I'm going to do a video on that tomorrow. But look, all I'm going to say is I'm going into this summer with open eyes. It helps. You don't walk into things. But thanks for the contribution, G Montero. And Rocker the DJ says, what does he say? Let me come back. If 6 go out, buy 4 Wildies and promote 2 youth. Son Goko Ian 97. Mark, I'm going to be a dad. I'm going to call him Heskey. Congratulations, mate. Don't call it Heskey though. It will just get bullied. Chinese Super League transfer window is the 1st of January to the 5th February the 28th. Thanks, Mark G. They don't have another one then because we have 2. So, you know, we're not getting rid of Sanchez then, are we? See, this is what annoys me. And I don't want to talk about this for much longer, but this is what annoys me. You get all this press. United are selling these players. They're selling that players. You see United fans on social media. Yeah, we're finally going to get rid of Alexis Sanchez. And I just wonder, right, do they not think it through? How are we selling Alexis Sanchez? Chinese transfer market's not open in the summer. Who's going to pay £380,000 a week for Sanchez and give us money for the transfer? No one. He's here for a long time, and that's going to be a problem. And that the longer Sanchez is here, the longer De Gea won't sign a contract, Pogba won't sign a contract unless the club give them more than Sanchez. So we're in a really bad situation. But this is not about Solskjaer. This is not about the team. This is about the board. And this is what Gary Neville was on about a few months ago. The problems at United run far deeper than the playing squad and the manager. It's upstairs. How do you solve that problem? Anoop Ayapan says, Joe, Felix or Sancho. Talking about Jones and Smalling, I think they deserved for managers, even Solskjaer. So I think they're simply loved over Bay. Maybe they give 100% in training. What do you think? I don't care whether they give 100% or not. They're not good enough if you want to fight for a title, and that's what we're all hoping for. Greg Hempsell says, hey Mark, do you know the news of a mass cull is a considered strategy to get the team to kick on till the end of the season? Risky. I just think it's the sort of paper talk that you get at this time of year. That's what I think about it. And I think that people get very excited about transfers. Like they see Herrera going and they think, yeah, we're going to get Kroos, we're going to get Verratti, we're going to get a top-class player. And I always think, well, where's the evidence of United going and spending out hundreds of millions of pounds? We don't really do that. We've never done it. Not even under Sir Alex Ferguson. The Glazers don't like doing it. I'm sure, I hope we'll spend over 200 million, but I can't see us going above 300 million ever. And that's 5 players to do that. So I just can't see it happening. I mean, I want to do a video on this to sort of demonstrate it in a more visual way. Who would you replace De Gea with, Mark, if he goes? He's irreplaceable, GTA Red Star Gaming. He is irreplaceable. He's that good. You may as well go with Romero in some ways. We are talking about incoming players, 250 million money, but moving Deadwood, can you break down how much we can get as money? Sanchez, Bay, Herrera, Mata, Darmian, Rojo, etc. How much can we get back as money? Darmian, you might get 15 million if you're lucky. Same with Rojo, so that's 30 million. Mata, nothing, he's out of contract. Herrera, nothing, he's out of contract. Eric Bailly, 20 million if we're lucky. So we might get about 50 million. Sanchez, no one's going to buy him, so we might be able to generate 50 million. Welcome Dino Del Valle, our latest member of the United Stands Members Club. Remember, you can do that by clicking the link in the video description or using the join button below. You get your own United Stand FC badge next to your name for the first month, and then each month it will change up to the Platinum 3-star badge, and you get access to our exclusive emojis, Lube Shaw, McMayonnaise, pink gloves for David De Gea, Ollie at the wheel. I can see DK using them there. One thing I did want to talk about, though, I don't know where you all stand on this, because I don't even know where I stand on it. I saw Chelsea last night. I didn't watch it because I couldn't be bothered, but I knew they were going to win. But I saw that they started Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi. And it's really funny because Chelsea are not a club that uses youth. They're not. But this season, their fan base, to be fair, is absolutely sort of been vicious and adamant that people like Christensen and Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi should be playing for Chelsea. And it's really weird because Chelsea have never been that club. They've always been the quick fix manager, they spend the money. But they've got these young players and they want to see them playing for their club. And Hudson-Odoi played well last night for them, and he's 18 years of age. And it just dropped into my head. I'm like, Manchester United, we're known for playing youth. That's what we do. And I said it when the team came out against Wolves. We had Rashford injured, a half-fit Anthony Martial on the bench. And then the rest of our bench was plodders, in the sense of they're not going to score you a goal from taking people on with flair. Juan Mata's not that player. Matic isn't that player. Pereira's not that player. Rojo's not that player. Who else? Jones is not that player. So it was a very ploddy bench. And I thought, something's seriously going wrong at United, because all I keep hearing from Woodward and Solskjaer is, I'm going to use the youth, I'm going to use the youth. And then I think, well, your only speedster, your only flair player on the bench the other day was half fit. Martial, he wasn't fit to start. And yet, Tahith Chong, Angel Gomez, Mason Greenwood, not even on the bench. And then you look at Chelsea, never use their youth, and they've got 18-year-old Hudson-Odoi playing for them. Now, you can say that Chong and that lot aren't good enough. I think that they are. But Tahith Chong is a year older than Hudson-Odoi. And I just think that this youth thing, I think you know what? It's the one thing that I think I'm not going to be convinced until I see it happening. I think it's the line to throw to the fans to make us think it's going to happen. But actually, I don't think in the last 4 months that Ollie's been here, we've seen any more youth than we saw under Mourinho. You know, we've seen the same people. Rashford, Lingard, Lingard's 27 this year. McTominay, well, he was Mourinho's player. We've seen little glimpses of Greenwood and Chong and Gomez, but 5 minutes here and there. And I just think that, you know, I know we're trying to get top four. But I also think that, well, these players that are on your bench are going. Like Rojo's going, apparently. Mata's going, apparently. Why can't you just chuck somebody on? Because they're going to do a far better job than they do. Why not sell Sanchez and pay half of his new wage? Says Hamad Ahmed. I'd do it. I don't know whether the club would want to do that. And Richard Stainer says, I've just read that PSG are going to offer De Gea £450,000 a week. If they're leaking that out now, then why would he sign a contract next season if United won't pay him that now? Loyalty goes both ways. And Richard, you've just made probably the comment of the night there, because this is a very similar situation to Ander Herrera that people don't grasp. Of course, we shouldn't be paying £200,000 a week to Ander Herrera. No way. But we have to if we want to keep him, because PSG are going to pay him £200,000 a week. Is he worth that? Technically no, but factually yes, because PSG haven't got to pay a transfer fee. So PSG are like, how much is Ander Herrera worth in the current market? 25 million? 25 million. £250,000 a week, or £200,000 a week. That's $1 million a month. 25 million. That's 2 years. We can pay what we would have paid in transfer fee and pay his wages in 2 years. It's a ridiculously cheap thing to do. There's £200,000 a week. In the case of De Gea, if he signs a new contract at United, is worth £100 million. If PSG leak it out now, we'll give you £450,000 in a year's time. De Gea lets his contract run down. PSG get De Gea for nothing instead of £100 million. They can pay £450,000 a week. People think that PSG are doing it to sort of ruin football and all that, but they're actually doing what Juventus did with Aaron Ramsey. If you haven't got to pay a transfer fee, you can pimp up the wages. So this is why I get so angry about letting contracts run down, because you get United going, no, we are not paying you £200,000 a week, it's immoral. But you've made it immoral. You've made that situation by letting his contract run down. And if it happens with De Gea, I just don't know what to do. You know, we've got idiots in charge. Thoughts on Max Aarons, right back, and Ben Godfrey, centre back at Norwich as options. Henderson as the hair replacement. I'd like United to sign gems like we used to. Says Punsborough. I don't think we're going to do it though. I don't think we will, Punsborough. I just don't think we're going to be looking at players from the Championship, whether they're going to get promoted or not. Welcome, Roy Keane, simply the best. Brilliant name, and our newest member to the United Stand Members Club. And 20 times Man United. I'm late. What's the targets, Mark? Give me some good news, bud. I mean, we haven't spoken about targets on this show, to be honest. We've been talking about players leaving the club. Youth. I mean, Saul Niguez, I'll mention him. Saul Niguez apparently wants to leave Atletico Madrid to come to the Premier League, but his buyout clause is £126 million. So, I mean, that's probably over half our transfer budget on one midfielder. So, I don't know. I'm not feeling very well, so please do smash a like on the video. So I probably shouldn't have done this video tonight. My throat is like razor blades, but you know, I like doing the show, and I know a lot of you, you love the 8 o'clock show. That's why I've done it. But so I'm not in the best of mood anyway. So you know, when you're moody, aren't you? And I can put my hands up to that. But I must admit, I'm not encouraged or excited by this transfer window in the summer. What we should be focusing on is the next few games, trying to get top 4. Can we get top 4? Yes. Will we get top 4? We're up against it. We can do it, but we're up against it. But the summer transfer window, I'm sorry. I've seen, like I said, I'm too long in the tooth for this. I've seen it so many times. We're going to spend 400 million. We're going to sell 6 players. And we've fallen for it in the past on the United Stand. You get to the end of the season in mid-May and you do a video. 6 in, 6 out. And you're lucky if you do 3 in, 3 out. We can't remove this deadwood. We just cannot remove it from this club. Ben Cassell, Mark, a club might offer Sanchez like 10 million signing fee, then offer him like 250,000 a week. That way they don't pay him as much. We can all live in hope. What do you call a guy with a rubber toe? Roberto. That was a classic there from Cameron Hall. Don't give up the day job. Martin McCullough. Mark, Sanchez has been poor. He should leave. I agree, Martin, but getting him out the door is going to be very, very, very difficult. I think that's the bottom line, and I think we all know it. 6 games left, 18 points up for grabs, says Smut Beers. You know what? I just want to talk about top 4 for a moment. Thank you to Alvin Box. He says that the United Stand is epic, and I'm just going to check out his channel because he's got some weird thing going on, and I think he's probably got a big channel, so I'm just going to have a quick look. 102,000. He's a Robloxer. Well, welcome, Alvin. You're very welcome. But I'm very opinionated on Twitter. People know that, but I'm also very fair. And I wasn't fair about Wolves. I'm sorry. Wolves fan seems to have Wolves fan are really. I love it when a team beats us, but then I win. It's like when Arsenal beat us, and every person off AFTV slated me in the video. Goldbridge, and I'm like, yeah, rent free in your head. You won the game, but I'm destroyed you. And there's a load of Wolves fans like this. Fucking Goldbridge, this, that, and the other. Because what I said about Wolves is we played them twice. They park the bus and they hit teams on the break. It's true. I'm sorry, it's true. Fair play, you beat us. It's our own fault we lost. We were shit in both games, but you do park the bus and you hit teams on the break. Let's not try and rewrite history here that you're some bloody, B-Tech Man City passing the ball around and dominating teams. You park the bus and you hit teams on the break, and it works well for you, and you might finish 7th. Fair play. I said you were good. The stupid thing about Wolves is I said right at the start of the season, in the summer, I said Wolves will finish in the top 8. And loads of people were like, yeah, you're talking crap. I knew they would. But what I must also say about the top 4, thanks for the contribution, cool dude, is that I said last summer, right at the start of the season, if Arsenal get top 4, Unai Emery, Dracula, should get manager of the year. And I said that before the ball was kicked, and I'm not going to go back on it. I think he should, because if you look at Arsenal's squad, it's not as good as United, Chelsea, Spurs, City or Liverpool. It's not. If you look at how much he had to spend, it was pittance. If you look at what he was taking over, that Wenger team was full of spineless bottle jobs. If he can get that team to finish in the top 4 over Spurs or Spurs or Chelsea, he should get manager of the year. And Liverpool will say, well, if we win it, Klopp should get it. And that's probably who will get it. And if Pep wins the quadruple, then he should get it. But I think if Arsenal get top 4, Unai Emery, as much as I hate to say it because I don't like Arsenal, has done a fantastic job. Having said that, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets top 4, he should get manager of the year, because to take over the shit show that we are, 11 points off top 4, and get us into top 4 would be amazing. So that's the challenge for United, and we've got to be up for it, and I hope the players are. From a mathematic perspective, we should buy out Alexis' contract. Will give us more long-term value with setting current and incoming player expectations. Vicky, you're absolutely spot on. That's exactly what we should do. Give Vicky a clap, because she should. She's right. Manchester United, if they kick Alexis Sanchez out the door in the summer, yeah, we might take a hit of 30 million quid, but the wage structure will be back in play again. I don't know who the best paid player at United is. I imagine it's probably Pogba on about £250,000 a week. But if Alexis Sanchez wasn't there, you can't have David De Gea saying I want £400,000 a week. He'd have to go 300. So I would kick Alexis Sanchez out. Whether we'll do it or no, because we're a club that loves money. Welcome, Luke Skywalker 50, our latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Matthias Drummer, controversial opinion, De Gea can go. He doesn't fit Ollie's style of play going forward, can't command a box, defence or distribute the ball good enough. You know what, Matthias? I think David De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world. But I am eyes wide open to the fact that his ball distribution is terrible, and I'm also eyes wide open to the fact that he's playing terrible at the moment. The more I see that winner for Wolves, I mean, basically, Wolves, fair play. You're a little club, you won. Fair play, right? But we handed you 2 goals the other night. We didn't take our chances, and we handed you 2 goals. The first goal was a mess up, and the second one... Welcome, Alvin Box. He's a member of the United Stand Members Club. Welcome, Alvin. Thanks for that. And the second goal, De Gea goes backwards. You know, the ball's bouncing in the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper's got hands. The goalkeeper can pick a ball up. The players have got to use their feet. He should have dived all over that, punched it, whatever. And he jumps back, like, effectively... You know, if that was a goalkeeper we didn't like, he would get slated, that's what I would say. Be called a coward, a pussy, whatever. It's only because we like De Gea and he's been superb for us that he doesn't get criticism. And I agree with that. But he should have stopped that goal. And I don't think he's playing particularly well at the moment. And his distribution is a problem. But would I get rid of him? Never in a month of Sundays. Nabil Khan says, Wan-Bissaka, Sancho and Rabiot would be a good summer. Where's the centre-back, Nabil? Surely we need a centre-back. Put up more polls in the community. It's good fun, says Smut Beers. Yeah, I need to put one of those up. I'm going to go and do it now, actually, Smut Beers. So if you are part of the members club, you get access to exclusive emojis. You get a little badge next to your name and your name in green. And also you get access to the community page on the homepage of the United Stand. There's a community page where you get exclusive polls and things like that, which I haven't been able to put up because I've been ill, but I'm going to do it now. Anyway, I'm going to get off. I don't feel great. And you know what? If I carry on for too long, I'll destroy my throat and then I won't be able to do a show for 3 days. And I need to do one tomorrow. So thanks everybody for watching. Back again at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We've got a video going up as well tomorrow. An exciting day on the United Stand tomorrow, actually. So maybe give me a follow on Instagram and you'll see what I'm on about. At Goldbridge Mark on Instagram or at the United Stand TV on Instagram. That's where we're going to be posting some pretty exciting things. So thanks everyone for watching. Sorry I was a bit ill. Hopefully the standard stayed the same, but thanks for joining me and helping me through it. This is why I do live stuff. I could never do it pre-recorded. I'd just give in. So you inspire me, and thanks very much. I'll see you all soon.